Hello there and welcome once again to The Verdict. I'm Mick Cornett along with Kent Myers. We're here every week meeting interesting people and dealing with topical issues. And today we welcome in someone who's had a big impact on the state of Oklahoma, and he'll be going into the Oklahoma Sports Hall of Fame this summer.
Indeed. We've entitled this show Bill Gleason, Oklahoma City's Jackie Robinson. I met Bill 64 years ago, as a matter of fact, when I was bat boy for the Oklahoma City Indians, and Bill was the first black player to play for the Oklahoma City Indians. And he was a pitcher, an outstanding pitcher, went on to pitch in the major leagues, and has had a wonderful life. He's made a great impact in Oklahoma City and the state of Oklahoma, and we are just thrilled to bring his story to you today.
Incredible list of life experiences. Today he lives in Alabama, but he is in Oklahoma City today to tape the show, and we'll get to it right after this.
Black Mesa is amazing in that it has more dinosaur fossil remains than any other place in Oklahoma. My name is Kent Smith. I'm an Associate Dean and Professor of Anatomy at Oklahoma State University Center for Health Sciences, and I'm Chickasaw. So I founded a program called Native Explorers to recruit, train, and educate the next generation of Native Americans into science and medicine. And we take 10 Native American students out into the field to give them hands-on experience. And at the end of the day, they said, I want to be a scientist when I grow up. It's just a privilege to be Chickasaw. The Chickasaw Nation provides for programs like Native Explorers, so we will pave the future for the next generation of scientists and physicians.
See more stories about the Chickasaw people at profilesofanation.com.
Welcome back to the set of The Verdict. Mick Cornett along with Kent Myers, and Kent's going to introduce today's guest.
Well, as we indicated in the opening segment, today is really a thrill for us, both personally and professionally, to welcome the Reverend Bill Gleason to our set. He's in town to be recognized for his impact in Oklahoma City and to be inducted into the Oklahoma Sports Hall of Fame at the ceremony next August. Bill was the first black professional baseball player or professional athlete in Oklahoma. He broke the color line in Oklahoma and was a wonderful example to all that knew him of the finest person around. I knew Bill, as I say, many years ago when I got to watch him up close and personal and got to watch how he handled the things that he had to deal with. Bill also pitched for the Birmingham Black Barons prior to coming to Oklahoma City, where he played with Willie Mays. He, during wartime, he served in the Marine Corps. He's a Marine Corps veteran, both of Iwo Jima, and then he served again in the Korean War. He went from Oklahoma City in his baseball playing days after he was here 2 seasons up to the St. Louis Cardinals and was the first African-American player to be a pitcher for the St. Louis Cardinals. A few years thereafter, he got called to the ministry, and he's been doing that continuously ever since for about 47, 48 years. Pretty soon he's going to figure out that he likes it and he's going to stay with it. Bill, welcome back to Oklahoma City. It's personally a pleasure to me, but I know our viewers are really pleased to have you here.
Well, I'm so grateful to you and the mayor and others for inviting me to come this way again, and I'm glad I was able to walk in and not be brought in.
Good, you did indeed.
Bill, we're going to spend a lot of time talking about things that happened a long time ago, but let's catch everybody up. What do you do today? I mean, you're still fairly active.
Yes, I'm a minister at Bethel Baptist Church in Birmingham. I've been there 47 years, and they feel sorry for me and let me stay. And I'm a professor at the college. I gave it up this past end of the year, and I just concentrate on my work at the church, with Bible study and teaching and preaching.
Yeah.
And
do you give a sermon every week?
every Sunday I try.
Yeah. And so, how do you prepare for that sermon? What do you got in mind this Sunday?
I may ask a question. The past Sunday I dealt with about God being no respecter of persons. What was the subject, Mike? Well, I forgot that quick. But anyway, I preach every Sunday. I teach twice a week on Wednesday and Thursday Bible study, and then I pray after each sermon on Sunday. I lay down and meditate and ask God to give me a word, and I open my Bible and read, and all of a sudden something gets my attention. Then I go to work on it.
Bill, as we indicated in your introduction, you served in the armed forces. You were a Marine during World War II, and you were on Iwo Jima. Can you tell us how you feel about those experiences that you had?
Well, I was among some of the first blacks to be inducted into the Marine Corps. In fact, my home is at Atlanta, and they had a draft, and they drafted about 535 of us, and picked only 9 of us for the Marines, and started at Montford Point. That's where we trained, and I was just proud to be that, and we had to give our best shot because, you know, you're different and everything, and they told us we had to prove ourselves, and we did a pretty good job. I became a squad leader with my platoon.
Mm-hmm.
How many years did you serve in the Marines?
All told 8 years.
8 years?
Yes, because I was 4 in the reserve.
Okay.
And 4 active.
4 on active duty?
Yes.
So by then you must have been in your mid-20s when you decided
Right.
to look at a career in professional sports.
Oh, yeah. Well, after I came out, there was a semi-pro team in Atlanta that fella saw me, Sammy Haynes. He saw me throwing a tennis ball and making it do little tricks. And she said, come on out and try, you know, play with us. And I pitched a game or 2, and pretty soon they gave me a uniform, and I started playing semi-pro ball, and that was a great experience.
Well, how did you get to the Birmingham Black Barons?
Well, I don't know. I believe it was in Asheville, North Carolina. Somebody saw me. I pitched against a team in Asheville, and the manager of the Birmingham Black Barons, Piper Davis, saw me, and that was on a Monday night. And Sunday, that Sunday, I was in Birmingham. I don't know whether they gave me away, sold me, or whatever, but I ended up in Birmingham on that Monday, and I played with them for 3 years.
And you had some good teammates, so that was a pretty good
Oh,
team.
yes. We won our division in '48, and we faced the Homestead Grays in the last Negro World Series, and I won the only game in that series. And after that, I went and started playing winter ball.
What do you remember of the center fielder on the Birmingham team?
One of the greatest, the greatest. He could do it all.
And you're
Willie
referring to?
Willie Mays. That's my partner, my buddy. We're still in close contact with each other. We talk every week.
Well, Willie, I know, sent a letter on your behalf to the Oklahoma Sports Hall of Fame supporting your induction into the Hall of Fame, and had some very nice things to say about you, and it was a very personal letter. It's clear he knows you well.
Oh, sure. He knew me well. You know, we played together in 1954 in Puerto Rico. My wife came down to be with me, and she did all of our cooking and everything. He had a good reason to remember us because she fed us well, and we won the championship that year.
Well, now you had some pretty good teammates in Puerto Rico as well, did you not?
Oh, yes. Ruben Gomez pitched for the Giants, Sam Jones for the Cubs, George Crowe for the Boston, Don Zimmer, I think it was with the Dodgers, started with Fort Worth at the Dodgers. Had some great players with us.
How did you wind up in Oklahoma City?
Well, when I went back the second time, I wanted to volunteer to go to Korea, but my company commander saw something about me playing baseball, and he said, I'm going to have a baseball team, and I want you on it. And because I was kind of angry about it, he put me in the kitchen for duty in the mess hall, as they call it, for 30 days. That's discipline. So I handled it pretty good, and so we started playing. And one of the sergeants there saw me in a game that I pitched, and he, I think he was a friend of someone here in Oklahoma City. I don't know, it was Bob.
Bob Reynolds?
Bob Reynolds, yeah. And he said he saw a person there that he thought might be interested in dealing with. And so I stayed, they tried to get me to stay in the Corps, longer, but he invited me to come out because they were interested in having a black on the team. I think the only other black in the league was Dave Hoskins with the Dallas Eagles. And so he invited me to come out, and I came out, and he took me up to prison to pitch against a prison team. Was it in Guthrie? Was it a prison team?
Well, there's not today.
Not today. It was one.
McAllister, perhaps.
Somewhere up there. Anyway, I pitched against him, and Mr. Humphrey, who was the owner, saw me, and he offered me a contract to play. And that's how I came here. A guy from Marines recommended me.
You remember what that contract was for?
Yes, sir. I'll never forget it.
How much did they pay you?
$500 a month.
$500 a month?
Yes.
In 1952.
Yes.
All right. Well, we're going to take a break, and then we're going to come back, and we'll let Bill describe playing in Oklahoma City in the early 1950s. This was a time of segregation, and he dealt with a lot, and he was also very successful on the field. And we'll hear all about that from Oklahoma Sports Hall of Fame inductee Bill Gleason when we get back.
The good life comes naturally to Tulsa, where nature's beauty is matched with an eye for aesthetics. A legacy of neighborhoods graced with lawns and landscaping and handsome homes. A place that seems to have patented an ideal lifestyle. Bank First is loyal to the quality of life Tulsa assures its citizens, to the priority placed on education, culture, and growth. Loyal to builders who transform raw land into residential charm. Developers who see opportunity and add vitality to Tulsa's economy. Bank First serves both enterprise and private lives that need a loyal partner. It's how we help nurture this city's very good life. Bank First. Loyal to Oklahoma. Loyal to you.
Welcome back to the set of The Verdict. In the first segment, we learned a lot about Bill Gleason, a gentleman who is now going into the Oklahoma Sports Hall of Fame. And in that first segment, I asked him what his subject was when he was pastoring last week, and it took him a moment to come up with it, but during the break, he said it was the impartiality of God.
Right.
It seems ironic that a person who was so judged by the color of his skin and one day would now be speaking about the impartiality of God.
Well, in the ministry, in the churches, you have denominational divisions and all of this, and some in high places, some in low places. The scripture said, God is no respecter of persons, but they that do the will of the Father is received of him. And I dealt with that, because the society we're in, you still have rich, you have the poor, you have the learned, the unlearned. So it was not about your state of finance or whatever, it's how you felt toward God. And if you love God, then it doesn't matter. You can be rich in him because he's rich.
In 1952, tell us about the Oklahoma City you encountered when you arrived.
Well, it was real nice. I enjoyed playing here. I lived at the YMCA. I think it was on 4th Street or 4th Avenue. And the players were real kind to me. Joe D'Amato, Tommy Lynn, Joe Frazier, Russ Burns. Those were some of the guys I remember. They were real kind. They treated me. In fact, Tommy Tatum told them when I came, he said, now,
Tommy was the manager.
He was the manager, Tommy Tatum, and he said, we're not going to look at the color of his skin. We're looking at a ball player. We need some help, and we believe he could help this team. And so they gathered around me. They supported me. We didn't stay together on the road, but on that field, we were together, and it was a great bunch of guys.
And so younger viewers probably need an explanation to that. You were not allowed to stay with the rest of the team when the team traveled.
No. We had to find a black hotel. We didn't mind it because, we were disciplined to remember we were baseball players, and we were always to represent our team, our color of our skin, and the team that we played for. We were disciplined. Well, I was well disciplined in it, and I didn't worry about where I stayed. I just wanted to play.
And then in 1953, you come back for your second year, but that's when you two's lives intersect. Kent, why don't you pick up the story there in 53?
I got to see Bill last night, and I said, I'm glad to see you again, Bill. It's been 64 years since I last saw you. He didn't recognize me.
It's hard to believe.
I'm shocked.
Yeah.
But
after 54, 64 years.
I got the chance to be the bat boy for the 1953 Oklahoma City Indians, and Bill was the leading pitcher on that team. He was there the full season, had the best season of any pitcher on the squad, and the team did well as additionally. Talk about some of your memories of some of the players that were on that team. You mentioned a few of them already. Do you remember a pitcher by the name of Vern Kennedy?
Vern Kennedy, old man.
Old man, yes.
He had been in the major leagues, and he was our relief pitcher. And I remember Ernie Groth, Al Newhouser.
Yep.
And I remember Schaffner, Al Cross, Tommy Lynn,
Al Zillion,
Russ Burns, Joe Frazier. I'm doing pretty good.
You really are. Frank Keller.
Frank Keller, first baseman.
From Oklahoma City.
Yeah, Frank Keller, yeah. I remember those fellas. They were a good group of fellas.
You had a good group of teammates that rallied around you. How did the Oklahoma City fans receive you, if you remember?
Well, everybody loves a winner. Yeah. And they received me real well, and they applauded me, they encouraged me, and that's what gave me that desire to do good, when people are behind you, whether you win or lose. And I lost a lot of close games, and they were still there with us. So, and in '53, we were able to play in the series before the Dixie series, I believe it was.
Yes.
We lost to Dallas, I believe, in that last game that put them in the Dixie series. And of course, at the time, Dallas, I think, had two blacks. I think it was Bill White and Buzz Clarkson. But anyway, they were not allowed to play in Birmingham because of the color barrier they had there. But the fellows was real nice. I only had three places that they gave me a pretty hard time. That was in Beaumont, Texas, Dallas, and Shreveport. I think it was in Dallas when I had pitched and defeated Dave Hoskins, who was a black pitcher. I went and sat in the bullpen, and as I was sitting there, I felt something coming on me. Somebody was standing over me, pouring something down on me. So that was one place. And then in Shreveport, Harry Walker was the manager when I went back there, and he would, every now and then, he would do that, pitch close to somebody. And then when I did it, somebody in the stands said, if you hit him, we got to take care of you. and then in Beaumont, there used to be a lady sat right behind our dugout, and seemingly every time we went to Beaumont, I was scheduled to pitch. And she used to sit there and say, we're going to get you, so-and-so, we're going to get you. And I just smiled and go on in. And at the end of the season, our last game was there, and she met me outside. She said, Bill, you did well. You didn't allow what I said to you disturb you. And I said, well, I know who I am. called them names and colors and so forth. Doesn't bother me. So those were some of the things that happened, and it didn't bother me at all.
From there, you went to the major leagues.
In 1954, I went from Oklahoma City. They sold me to the Cardinals organization. I went to Houston, Texas, and then to Columbus. And that's when I went to the Cardinals part of the 54 season. Went up and stayed a few days with the Cardinals. Eddie Stanky was the manager then. And we didn't hit it off too well. And that's why it sent me back, you know. I hadn't pitched in about 2 weeks. I just run every day, keep myself in shape. And one night in Philadelphia, he asked me to pitch batting practice, and I did. But it was a little while, you know, and he came out. He was short, you know. And he came up and said some words, you know, and I responded in a negative way. And he just turned, looked at me, and went back. In about 2 weeks, I was headed back to the minors. But I was happy that I had an opportunity to play with those fellas up there.
What'd you do next?
Well, I stayed with baseball until 58, I believe it was 59. I came back and I began to work for a department store in Birmingham, Pizzitz department store. And I married a young lady there, was a church person, and she would invite me to go to church on Sunday, and sometime I would see a cloud and tell her it's gonna rain, and you know, I made all kinds of excuses. But finally I decided to go, and I started going, and I became a member of 16th Street Baptist Church. That was the church that was bombed in Birmingham. In the morning that it was bombed, I snuck off. I mean, I sneaked off to play with a semi-pro team, and about 20 miles out of Birmingham, we heard this blast, and it was our church. But I know God was working all along, you know, because our Sunday school class used to meet right down where that bomb went off. And so he spared me, and I became a member of 16th Street Baptist Church and started going to school, to college. Went to Birmingham Smithsonian Bible College, Sanford University, and stayed in school for about 10 years.
When did you feel that you were called to become a minister?
Well, that was early when I started. In one Sunday, I could feel something happening within my life. It all happened on Iwo Jima. I promised the Lord if he allowed me to get off that island. It was only 5 miles long, 3 miles wide at the widest point, with a volcano on the end of it, Mount Suribachi. And I promised him if he got me off that island, anything he wanted me to do, I'd do it. And that feeling stayed with me. It looked like the Lord was saying, you remember what you said? So he said, I have something for you to do. And one Sunday morning, my pastor asked me to review the Sunday school lesson, and the Holy Spirit took charge of me. I threw up my hand.
Been doing it ever since?
Ever since. Yes,
You don't regret a day?
No. I wouldn't take nothing for this journey. And when I started pastoring, the first church I pastored at, my salary was $20 a week. And when I first went to where I am now, it was $150. I was working for Pizzitz, but I gave up the job. After 15 years, I had good retirement in and everything. I just gave up everything because I trusted God to take care of me, and he did, and he has done. I'm not 45 years old now. This is a 92-year-old man. Yeah. I put emphasis on the 92 because I don't want the young girls, you know, come.
Sure. Well, Bill, we really appreciate you coming on the show, first of all. And thank you for your service at Iwo Jima and with the United States Marine Corps. Thank you for collecting all of these life experiences, your passage through Oklahoma City. I hope you enjoy this summer when you're going to be inducted into the Oklahoma Sports Hall of Fame, and we welcome you back then. Thank you.
I want to tell you thanks for what you did last night. I really enjoyed being with you all, and the food that you gave us, that filet mignon was out of sight.
Well, you deserve that.
Well, thanks for making such a favorable impression on a 14-year-old, too.
God bless your heart.
Kent and I'll have a final word when we get back.
There are now 11 million of us who live here and work here. I was 15 when I came here 6 years ago. I raised my family here, drive my truck to my job every day. The only difference between now and 6 years ago, I do it legally. I wanted to, because this is my home.
All children deserve a life of hope and love, but sometimes they experience a life of pain, neglect, and abuse.
When that happens, each child deserves all the quality assistance and representation that can be offered in our legal system. For more information, call 23-CHILD.
Oklahoma Lawyers for Children, helping to bring hope and love back to the lives of abused children.
You will always be Mom and Dad to me.
We are a very conservative family, and we believe in old-fashioned family values. We have a loving home there, and we love kids, and we have 5, 6 of our own. And but I had no idea we were going to go into adoption, but it's been very gratifying.
You will always be Mom and Dad to me.
The Journal-Record is pleased to be a sponsor of The Verdict. The Journal-Record, since 1903, the best source of Oklahoma business news and legal information.
And for almost 30 years, Oklahoma political, government, and business leaders have turned to the McCarville Report for accurate, reliable, inside information. Visit the McCarville Report online. We're back on the set of The Verdict. Mick Cornett with Kent Myers, wrapping up a show with Oklahoma Sports Hall of Famer Bill Gleason.
A real icon in this community. When he was here, he just has distinguished himself in an outstanding fashion throughout his entire life, and I am very blessed to have known him and to renew our acquaintance, and we're glad to bring him to you.
And I think people will be inspired to perhaps attend the induction banquet this summer. In August, the Oklahoma Sports Hall of Fame will be inducting Bill Gleason, and along with the 2017 class. Let's show the website information, how you can get tickets or more information so you can meet Bill Gleason in person. It's at www.oklahomasportshalloffame.org. And we have a website. Love for you to go to theverdict.com, or actually theverdict.tv, and tell us about a guest you'd like to see. You'd think I'd get that after 850 shows, wouldn't you? Until then, we'll see you next week right here on another edition.